We still do not have a quorum, but I got the okay from the ranking member to move ahead with our opening statements. So I say good morning to all my colleagues and all the people that are in the audience and our hardworking staff. We have on the agenda 6 nominations. 5 are listed for the first time and will be held over. Our only vote today will be on David Waterman to be U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Iowa. Senator Ernst and I have recommended Mr. Waterman for this position. Senator Ernst and I have recommended Mr. Waterman for this position for 2 Congresses in a row, and he was previously voted out of this committee with an overwhelming bipartisan vote. I'm pleased that we're voting on him today and urge all of my colleagues to support him. We also have S 1829, goes by the name of Stop CSAM Act, listed on the agenda for the first time. That bill increases protections for kids online and will be held over until the next week. I want to take a moment to address recently raised concerns about the Justice Department grant terminations. I've started looking into some of these redirected funds, and I'm releasing a short report today compiling publicly available information on just 2 of the grant recipients, and there's many, many more, and we're going to continue to focus on more. But I just want to use one example for today's hearing called the VERA, Institute of Justice. VERA is a George Soros-backed organization. It's received at least $10 million in donations from George Soros. Everyone here knows that Soros's plan to elect progressive prosecutors to district attorney positions. Folks may be less familiar with Vera's role in that plan, though they've made no secret about how they try to help Soros's goals. Many of them gave Vera space in their office and nearly unfettered access to their case files. They allowed Vera to redesign their prosecutor's office around Soros's progressive vision. Guided by Vera, these prosecutors failed their communities. The sad stories of their failures played out in the courtroom, where rape victims and families who lost loved ones to violence never saw an ounce of justice. Vera policies aren't criminal justice reform. A revolving door of no consequences doesn't make anyone safer or rehabilitated. We need to continue looking at these grants. The Justice Department should reinstate worthy grants, and several have been reinstated. But awards to grantees like Vera for broken progressive policies should give us all great pause. The American people voted these policies out of office. I also want to take a moment to discuss some of my other recent oversight work. People on this committee know that I try to listen to legitimate whistleblowers, and most of them are very legitimate. So, thanks to whistleblowers, I made public last week an FBI document that showed Nellie Orr, whose firm was paid for by the Democratic National Committee, that Ms. Orr lied to Congress. She lied about her role in creating the Steele dossier and pushing the Russian hoax. She got away scot-free while Trump and his associates were politically targeted for years. That document also exposed the FBI's use of access restrictions on some of Mueller's Crossfire hurricane material. Incredibly, those access restrictions prevented the FBI agents from assessing FBI records. And if that happened, it means congressional oversight requests and court cases were subject to the same obstructive conduct. New FBI leadership ought to immediately perform a comprehensive review of these access restrictions. My oversight has just begun on this matter. Now you'll remember the famous FBI Richmond memo. That memo used the shoddy research of the radical Southern Poverty Law Center to accuse traditional Catholics of being violent extremists. Now that in and of itself is an outrage. Well, the FBI recently produced Biden-era documents, which I released Tuesday this week, showing the problem was much worse than Director Wray led us to believe. There wasn't just one FBI document, the famous one that supposedly only Richmond, Virginia had. So there wasn't just one FBI document that used biased anti-Catholic sources, but over a dozen. The anti-Catholic memo was distributed far more broadly than the FBI, through Director Wray, told the Congress. And more FBI field officers were involved than we had been led to believe. Based on those FBI records, it appears that Director Wray lied to the Congress when he testified before this committee. My oversight on these matters will continue. Now to Senator Durbin, our ranking member.